Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Seven Circles. Oh, we serious now, man. Happy Saturday, everybody. Could be doing anything. I'm happy that you tune in with me. We're just gonna get in where we fit in. If you ain't watching, then you know what? You catch it on the flip side. Catch it on the flip side. So I'm gonna be talking about. I'm in my room. But who cares, right? It don't matter. The beauty of YouTube. We're gonna be talking about: are we dying because of our food? I think we are, and I got a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about. I think it's important more now than ever before. Um, those who don't know, I interview a breatharian by the name of Elitam Elamine. Elitam Elamine, you can check him out, and he hasn't eaten for 2 years. I put out a video that should be coming out tomorrow. A guy who gets his energy just from the sun, and he hasn't eaten in a long, long time. He also refers to people who haven't eaten in 20 years. Now, when I say eating, I mean, of course, they haven't. They ate something, but they're not eating the traditional food that most people are eating. They're not eating burgers. They're not eating a salad. They're not eating anything like that. They're saying, you know what? Instead of having food as a medium of energy, we're just knocking out the medium and we're getting our energy exactly where the food gets its energy from. But the things that we eat, first and foremost, I want to talk about a couple of things. These are the categories. One is the biggest lie is that we got to eat 3 times a day, right? And we know exactly why we have to eat 3 times a day, or why they made us think that we had to eat 3 times a day, because we don't have to eat 3 times a day. I eat 1 time a day, maybe two, and that's true. That's facts, man. All I'm gonna do is spit facts. All I'm gonna do is spit the truth. So we're going to that a little bit. I want to talk about breakfast. You know, you break it up, the etymology of it. Break fast, breakfast, break fast, right? And what that consists of, and how we should be looking at that. Um, Food combining. This is something that I studied about 8 years ago. Food combining and things that you should eat together and things that you shouldn't eat together. Like, as an example, you should not eat a grapefruit and a steak together. And you shouldn't be even eating the steak. But if you're going to eat a steak, don't eat a steak and a grapefruit, or a steak and I don't know, blueberries at the exact same time. And there's a reason behind that. You want to eat certain foods with certain foods. So we're going to break that down. Of course, additives, that's going to be added in there. But one of the main things that I want to talk about, which takes up a lot of the energy of the body, and that is the digestive system. So let's say if you start out with 100% of energy, your brain, whether if you're actively using it or not, is automatically going to take up 20% of your energy. And the digestive system, believe it or not, takes up the next amount of energy that is a large amount. I don't know the percentage, but I know it's a lot. And we're constantly jamming our digestive system with food on top of food on top of food on top of food. But we don't understand that food actually takes a long time to break down certain types of food. So let's just start like with meat. Meat, let's say steak. A steak takes anywhere between to I'm sorry, from 3 to 5 days to break down. The minute it goes into the mouth, the minute you thoroughly chew it, you should be chewing it at least 42 times, masticating it. You're thoroughly chewing it. Your esophagus is pressing it down. From that point, it's going into your stomach. The acids are breaking it down even more. Then it goes into your large intestines, or your small intestines, and then your large intestines. I probably got that a little bit mixed up, but that's pretty much how your digestive system is working in a nutshell, and then it's excreted out into waste, whatever byproducts aren't being used. That whole process, when you eat a cow, aka steak, that whole process takes takes anywhere from 3 to 5 days. That's a long time. That's a long time. And I'm not knocking on anybody who eats meat. Whatever you choose to put in your mouth, so be it. It's none of my business. But I'm just spitting facts. This is coming from somebody who's been a chef for a long, long time, been to a lot of culinary schools. So let's talk about something like chicken. Chicken takes anywhere between 1 to 3 days to break down. So again, the same process from start to finish. That process is taking 3 days to break down. Now, I want to bring this up and start right here with the digestive system, because I'm going to kind of go into grains as well too. Grains can take anywhere from a day, depending on what kind of grains there are. And if they're paired up with the right type of food, maybe they could take about 8 hours to go from point A to point B or point A to point Z. Fruit. If you got fruits like, let's say, a plum, a grape, a cherry, watermelon, something like that, it should take about 2 hours to go from point A to point Z. Okay, so very, very important to remember that these foods. Now, the next thing is when we go into food combining. So combining foods, certain foods don't go well with other foods, and I want you guys to look this up on Google when you get a chance. Look up food combining and look up food combining, and instead of going to all, go to images on Google. And what you will find, I can actually probably put that in my phone right now. What you'll find is you'll find a chart. You'll find a lot of different charts, and those charts will tell you what foods you should be eating with other foods. Like as an example, I gave the example of a steak and a grapefruit. You don't want to eat those foods together because they digest at different times. So I was saying the steak takes anywhere between from 1 to 5 days to digest, whereas a grapefruit can take anywhere from an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to digest. So if you put those in the body at the same time, the body's going to be confused. The body's going to, first of all, recognize one as food, one not as food. It's going to say, okay, which one breaks down faster? It's going to break down the one that breaks down the fastest, which is going to be the grapefruit. And it's going to produce enzymes inside of the mouth, right, through like our saliva, which is going to break that food down. Kind of like when a snake or whatever is eating something, it's breaking it down with the juices, right? And then what's going to happen is it's going to turn it into whatever. But it's going to bypass the steak inside of your mouth, because the steak is going to take more time and more enzymes to break down. So it's going to become confused. It doesn't produce two types of enzymes. It doesn't say, oh, let me produce an enzyme to break down the grapefruit and one enzyme to break down the steak. No, it's just going to go straight to the grapefruit. And what's going to happen is the steak is going to keep on going through the process of digestion, but it's not going to digest properly. And what happens is it's going to actually petrify and sit and rot and spoil in your body. Now, when this happens, because we know meat, just like roadkill on the side of the road, whatever, it attracts, pesticides or not pesticides, worms and all kinds of stuff. Okay, what's going to happen after that is you're going to start to have diseases. It's going to be dis-ease at first, uncomfortable, and then diseases. You're going to have a hard time defecating, going to the restroom. That's why people talk about getting a colon cleanse. Oh, if you're a male, if you're a black male, they say, or even if you're a male, oh, go ahead and get a colon cleanse, right? What is a colon cleanse? They're washing your ass out. That's pretty much what it is. And they want you to do it around that age because you probably never done it in your life. And you have so much stuff accumulated down there. A lot of people are constipated. What happens when you're constipated? It means that it's going in perfectly, but it's not coming out perfectly. So you're actually poisoning yourself. The body's like, oh my God, I can't get rid of it. Toxins start seeping out. The body's trying to kick into overdrive. It's trying to think about, where can I get rid of this stuff from? All of a sudden, you start getting boils on your skin. You start getting things that you think are pimples. You see pus. You see all kinds of stuff coming out. When you go to sleep, you might have a lot of crust around your eyes. You might have mucus coming out of your nose. All of this stuff is because of the fact that the food combining process was not taken care of. It wasn't thoroughly thought out. And that's just one of many, many, many things. It can also be you aren't drinking enough water to really wash this stuff away. But let's just stick with the food combining. So I have a chart right here, and I'm going to give you some quick information really, really quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But this chart right here, and I don't know if you guys put it up or not. And I had to learn how to do what do you call it? Like the green wall with when I'm doing lives, because I've done it a couple times, but I really don't know much about it, and I'm still learning. And I've been on TikTok a lot, but that's besides the point. So let me show you real quick how it looks. Okay, this is a decent chart. I don't know if you can see that. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of go through it. Things that you should eat together: fruits and citrus. Citrus. You should be eating those together, and that's considered acid. And then you got other fruits, which are sub-acid. So under the fruit category, you got all your citrus fruits, and then you got mangoes, you got some cranberries, you got things like that. Moving over to fruits, you got grapes, you got your figs, you got strawberries, pears, apples, cherries, again. And then over here, you got your these are just the categories. You got your sweet, and it says palm underneath that. That's pineapples, coconuts, bananas, dates, things like that. Moving over, you got more fruits. That's avocados. Okay, that's a lot of seeds and nuts. So pistachios and sunflower seeds and almonds and cashews and walnuts. Then you got grains. Grains going to be oats, rye, rice, mullet, quinoa, things like that. Then you got your legumes and your beans. Of course, you know what those are. That's going to be your lentils, your kidney beans, black-eyed peas, black beans, pinto beans. I don't know if I said that. Things like that. Then you got your melons. That's your cantaloupe, your honeydew. That's your watermelon, and things of that nature. Then you have your category of vegetables. And notice they don't even have meat on here. I guess this is a really healthy one. Vegetables. And it says tomatoes. Oh, succulents. Tomatoes, squash, corn, pumpkins. I see acorn squash. I see butternut squash, things like that. And then the last but not least are your leafy, your flowers, and your roots. Your leafy, your flowers, and your roots. And those are going to be your asparagus, your cabbage, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your carrots, your what is that? That looks like an artichoke, beets, and things like that. So 9 different categories, and that's excluding meat and fishes. So now they have things that combine well together. So they don't even have dairy in here either. This is really a really cool one. Let me go back just one. So I want to give somebody a little bit more information about foods that a lot of people might eat. Okay. Oh, excuse me. So proteins. Proteins go good with vegetables. And proteins would be considered almonds, cashews, pecans, Brazil nuts, dairy products, eggs, game, fish, shellfish, poultry, etc. Those are proteins, right? Those go good with vegetables. And the vegetables are asparagus, beets, cabbage, carrots, cucumber, herbs, peas, parsnips, onions, mustard greens, leafy greens, sweet corn, things like that. But they go okay with acid fruits. Those acid type of fruits will be like pomegranates, raspberries, strawberries, tangerines, plums, pineapples, oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruit, blackberries. But they go really poor with starches. So check this out. They're saying that proteins go poor with starches. And the starches will be potatoes, beans, chickpeas, mung beans, lentils, grains, which is the rice, the wheat, the sweet potatoes, and the pumpkins. Okay. Now I want to show you guys this picture because this is really interesting. Let me see if I can stretch that out and show you. Look on here real quick. Look at that. So starches go good with vegetables, right? Proteins go good with vegetables, but starches and proteins don't go good together. Now notice how many things here in America, for sure, I think all around the world, do people eat starches and proteins together all the time? If a starches are rice, right, and bread and things like that, chickpeas, how many times are you eating chickpeas with rice or beans and rice together? Or actually beans and rice are okay because both of those are starches. Well, what about, let's say, for instance, rice and some type of meat, rice and chicken, rice and fish, rice and eggs, rice and or bread and eggs, or cashews and potatoes, whatever. I can tell you as a chef that we're mixing these categories together all the time. So those are really, really poor. They don't combine well together, but yet we do that all the time. What about, like, for instance, pizza? Pizza, we have the starch, but then we also have the dairy, which is the protein and the starch. Those two, they don't digest together. So what happens when you eat that? So at the beginning, I talked about the digestive system, but now all of a sudden, you not even just things like, for instance, there's something called omni-consumption. Omni-consumption, meaning you eat one thing at a time, right? A lot of animals do that. They might eat 2 at the most, or 3 at the most, 4 at the most. A lot of Italians, they cook like that. They have 5 ingredients at the most. I was a chef. That's what we do. A little bit of this, not too much. But French, they cook a whole bunch of stuff together. Look at gumbo. How many ingredients isn't that? Your body's confused. It's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh yeah, if you're enjoying this, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up just so it can go out to more people. I appreciate that. But what I'm saying also next is that when you have something like, for instance, pizza, right? Your body doesn't know how to break it up. It doesn't know how to break it up. It becomes confused. So now it takes longer for that to digest. Now imagine imagine you eat that. Let's say you eat pizza 8:00 one day at night. Okay, you're doing whatever you do. Okay, let's say you don't eat anything else for the rest of the night. You wake up in the morning, that food still hasn't came out yet. Maybe you defecated from the day before. Now, what do most people eat in the morning? They're eating bacon, they're eating grits, they're eating pancakes. They might have a little bit of orange juice. Now the people are waking up, breaking their fast because break fast. They're not breaking their fast with fruit. If you've been on the fast for 7 days, 3 days, 1 day, whatever, how many times are you gonna? What are you gonna break your fast with? You're gonna break it with fruit. You're not gonna want to break your fast with like Papa John's or Burger King or whatever. You're gonna break your fast with something natural. Well, in the morning when we're breaking our fast, we don't break our fast like that. As an American people, I know what we have for breakfast, for lunch. We have grits, we have eggs, we have sausages, we have scrambled eggs, we have eggs over easy, we have cereal, we have all kinds of stuff like that. And so now the pizza from the day before, you just stack more stuff on top of that, more stuff on top of that. Now you just have almost like cement. You just have this food on top of food on top of food, right? And then you might eat, okay, let me eat a little bit of fruit. And if you don't eat fruit when you first wake up, if you eat it after you ate your eggs and everything else, what's going to happen next is now all of a sudden you're going to start to petrify that food in your stomach, and you're going to start to irritate it, and it's going to be gastrous. And then all of a sudden you're going to start farting, and you're going to start burping, and you're going to start hearing your stomach churn, and it's going to be funny noises like because you aren't combining the foods properly. And this upsets the stomach. It causes stress on the body. And if you get lucky, you might be able to defecate at that time. Maybe the fruit just pushed it through. You know what I'm saying? And because it digests really, really fast. And you might be able to just, push it through and take a shit. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that when we don't eat properly, right? When we don't eat according to natural laws, that's when we find ourselves in diseases. And what happens is over a lifetime is that people are eating like this, and the body is saying, okay, when they're younger, it's not showing too much because they're young. It's brand new. It's like I don't know what I use. Let's say as a smoker, okay, as a smoker, somebody who's smoking out of a pipe. When the pipe is brand new, you don't have to clean the pipe out. It's brand new. But if somebody keeps smoking out of that pipe, eventually it's going to accumulate residue, and it's going to accumulate ash or whatnot. And then you're going to have to clean the pipe out. Well, it's the same thing with us, man. We have to clean our pipes out, which is why fasting is so important, and which is why food combining is so important, and which is also the time of the days that we eat why it's so important. And again, going back to the example, if you don't eat, if you don't eat properly, you're just stacking food on top of food on top of food, on top of food, on top of food. Oh, let me eat some pizza. Let me eat some Chinese food. Let me eat a hamburger. Oh, I feel good right now. Let me eat a salad. You eat a salad. Oh, let me eat this. And you're having this hard mess inside of your body. And your body's like, what the heck is going on? And that's even if the food is organic at that part, it doesn't matter. You know, people automatically think that if you're eating organic, you're automatically on point. But 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 even if it's not organic, it's just science. It's a science to eating. Like it's a science to cooking. It's a science to anything. It's a science to breathing. You should breathe with your diaphragm, not these shallow breaths in your chest. So what happens again? You're you're stacking it and stacking it. Now all of a sudden your body's feeling stressed. Your body starts to expand, okay, because it can't digest it fast enough. It can't excrete it. It can't get it out. So it's like, what are we gonna do? Well, store it once the digestive system can catch up, and then we can go through the process of elimination. Think about a garbage disposal. If you just take a whole bunch of garbage and go, you're gonna stop it up a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And what do we do with the garbage disposal, which helps it out? We add running water. It helps to make the process better. You should be drinking water, at least a cup of water, an hour before you eat. Okay. So, with that being said, the body gets bigger and bigger and bigger because it doesn't know where to put the food. Right? It takes time. It takes time, but we're addicted. We're like, oh man, give me that. Oh man, give me that. I want this. I'm an addict too. I'm an addict when it comes to food, and I eat one time a day. And I'm a vegan, but I'm still an addict. I'm addicted to food, and I'm trying to get over it, y'all. I'm trying to get over it. I'm trying to. And I know I can do it. I went on a fast. You know, my whole entire life I've been fasting. 10-day fast, 15-day fast. Lived in the woods for 2 months, living off of the land. Ate very, very little. But when I get around that food, yeah, you feel me? But when you get around that food, it just comes out, man. So what I do is when I'm going shopping for stuff, I try to buy the best stuff. Because I know if I have junk in my house, most likely when I have a weak moment, I'm going to want to take advantage of it. So let me just go back to when we're eating it and then stacking and you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. A couple things happens with that. First thing that happens is, have you heard of the breatharian lifestyle? Yeah, I heard of the breatharian lifestyle. I interviewed a guy. Look on my channel, Elitam Elamine. I interviewed him. He's a breatharian. He hasn't eaten in 2 years. That interview was about 8 months ago. 2 years, he hasn't consumed food or drank water. Nothing. And I know some people like this. I know a lot of strong people in my community or that I met throughout my life because I travel quite a bit. So I know if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. But like right now, like I'm saying, like I'm an addict with it. Even though I'm skinny, I might not look fat, whatever. My body kind of hurts. And I'm gonna tell you what happens is we eat this food, right? Our body expands. It's putting stress on the body. Think about like if a baby's being born or a girl's pregnant and she's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's putting stress on the body. That's why we call it stretch marks. It's really stress marks, right? You're stretching it out. What does that do to the bones in the body? Because now everything has to readjust to make room for the extra food that the body's accumulating. What happens when a snake eats something that's really, really big? The mouth has to adjust. Everything has to adjust. The snake is at its most vulnerable state. This is facts. When it's eating and after it's eating a long meal, they go out hiding and they wait. They don't just go out all over the place and say, "Oh, what's going on?" No, they let that food calm down inside of them. And the same thing is happening in our body. Is that it's going through stress. So our bones, we have joints in our bones, right? That's how we can move, like a hinge in a door. We have joints. Well, the joints in here in our back against our spine, it starts getting pressed out. And that's causing stress. That's causing stress in the body. And with that stress, you know what's happening? It's pain. Oh, I got an ache here. Oh man, I need a massage. Oh, crack my back. Oh, this. Because all of this food is making us look a certain type of way. And it's hurting us. And we don't know it because it happens slowly but surely. So that's why I'm saying, like, are we dying because of our diet? Is our diet what's killing us? Do you know, they've done a lot of studies, and they did it with mice, and also they studied this amongst a group of people that the less you eat, the longer you live. The less you eat, the longer you live. So I'm convinced that we are eating our way to the graveyard. And it's a big business, y'all. It's a big business. And that's the reason why they put additives in the foods and things like that, because it makes you crave for it. It's something called craveability. Again, I was a manager at Cheesecake Factory. 5 years. I've cooked my whole entire life. Fortune 500 companies. They have something called craveability. This is an actual thing that hospitality and restaurants use. What that does is they put just enough sugar to where it's not over sweet. They put just enough salt to where it's not over salty, like right at the peak, right at that apex. So when you eat it, you're like, oh man, give me some more. Oh man. I'm talking about they were putting salt in soy sauce. You know what I mean? Like that's how much sodium they put in these things. Look at the package. And I know you guys know a lot of stuff has sodium in whatever, but also the additives. Salt addiction and sugar addiction is what I'm working on breaking now. Yes. A good way to break that, right? So I talked about this through TikTok earlier today. But a lot of people don't notice is that white sugar in the United States was illegal at one time. I think it was in the late 1800s. I don't know when, but it was illegal at one time in the United States. Just like how Coca-Cola had cocaine in their drinks, and now they can't have it anymore, right? The prohibition, alcohol is poison. We know that's a fact. Alcohol was illegal. Sugar was illegal at one time in the United States. It's not anymore. Sugar is a big business. Sugar is more addicting than cocaine. Have you ever seen a child, the first time they ate sugar, they goes like this? That was a big hit. They took a hit. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is like, even like when it comes to salt is extremely addicting. And a lot of people don't know this, but you got your Himalaya salt, right? But you also have salt that is made up in a laboratory, just like you have your regular cane sugar that comes from a sugar cane, or you can get it from date sugar or whatever. But then you also have your other sugar. Well, salt, they make it up in a laboratory. It's chloride, it's Na for sodium, and then Cl for chloride, sodium chloride. But that's why it's better to get like the Himalaya salt or sea salt or something else like that. I say it's something that has color in it, not really that white iodized salt. All right, so spicy. You talked about spicy. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit, and this actually goes into Indian philosophy. Those who don't know, my girl's Indian, and she actually put me onto something. It's called rajas. So we have rajas, which is a type of food. We have tamas, which is another type of food, and we have sattvic, which is another type of food. Rajas, tamas, and sattvic. I might be pronouncing them a little bit off, but those are called ganjas. So the ganjas consist of rajas, tamas, and sattvics. Tamas foods are foods that make you heavy, and foods that make you angry, and foods that drag your energy down. Tamas foods are heavy foods like meats and just a lot of other heavy types of foods, but they mainly say meats, and it's a couple other things too. Maybe some heavy grains or something. Those are tamas foods, and those have to do with the emotion of anger and things like that. And it gets, I just learned this like not too long ago, but it gets deeper. So I'm just giving you the outskirts of it. After tamas, you have rajas. Rajas foods are foods that are spicy foods, okay? And it could also be like really sweet foods too. Those mess with the mental. So if you're somebody that wants to concentrate, wants to focus, maybe you got to write a book or something like that. Or maybe you want to practice yoga or some type of qigong, some type of breathing thing. It's not good to eat rajas foods. Rajas, I think you spell it. It's not good to eat those types of foods because they're going to mess with your mind. So if you ever notice, you might notice this now that your reticular activating system is going to be activated. You're going to see something sattvic. I forget how to spell it. SLAVI or something like that. But sattvic foods are foods that they say yogis should eat because it allows you to do the asanas, which are the physical postures. And Savic foods are foods that are really light. So like a light salad, right? Not like a potato salad or something like that, a macaroni or a tuna salad. No, a light salad, something like a really light soup or something like that. And it goes into more and more details, but I'm just giving you the outskirt. Those are Savic. So you have the three different categories, and those are considered the ganjas, the ganjas. So that's just to answer your question about spicy foods real quick. But to get back, I want to backtrack really quickly. And I know I'm hopping over the place, but I really want to get this information out here because not enough people are talking about this. And I know that we can beat it because I beat smoking, I beat drinking, I beat tobacco. I never was hooked on caffeine. I had caffeine every now and then, but even now, even when I was doing 120 hours a week, I didn't use caffeine. So these are freaking drugs, and they're poisoning us, and they're killing us slowly. And I know that we can beat it. I know because, first of all, the symptoms are very, very similar. They're very similar to symptoms of drugs or things of that nature. So I know it's possible. I know it's possible. And once we learn more, and once we listen to people who are actually doing it, teachers that are real, not fake teachers, right? Because a real teacher is somebody who's actually doing what they're talking about, who actually been doing it. We can, exactly, we can, and we will, as a community, as a group. And this is the thing on it, like, we need to love on one another. That's a saying from the South, right? Love on one another. You need to love on me. I need to love on y'all. Like, we need to lift each other up. We're in a new time. We're in a new age. This whole thing of gossip, of tearing people down, or whatever people do, or whatever, all of that is back third dimensional, even fourth dimensional. Like, we want to climb higher. We want to see better for ourselves. We want to be better examples for our children and those around us. So even if we got to keep our circle like a period that small, maybe we're the only person in our circle. It's better to have no company than bad company. But look, y'all, I want to go back to when I said that you expand as you're eating it, because your system can't break it down fast enough, and then we're getting fat, right? Look at everybody. Everybody has a belly nowadays, including myself, man. I go to the gym a lot. I practice yoga. I still got a belly. I still do. The only time when I didn't was when I fasted for the 15 days. It went down because we eat too much. But you're stacking, right? You're stacking, so now your joints hurt because your body is being manipulated, is being distorted, right? And then what's happening next is your organs. Think about your heart. What does your heart do? Your heart's a pump. Boom, 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 boom. Well, if you got food coming in, your heart can't pump the way that it wants to. So instead of it pumping like this, all of a sudden you got food, now it's pumping like this. Then you got more food, now it's pumping like that. Then it's pumping like that. And before you know it, we attacked our heart so much, now we have a heart attack. We attacked the heart, now we have a heart attack. And then you go, oh, poor so-and-so, oh. And I get it, compassion. But we're killing ourselves on a slow thing. Our lungs, right? Our lungs. So much food, they can only do a little bit at a time. It's science. They can only do a little bit at a time. I'm not speaking anything that's like that's far fetched. It's common sense, but common sense isn't so common. Common sense isn't so common, and the definition of stupid means to go against common sense. And the way that we're feeding is stupid because we have so much food in this nation, and we're the biggest nation, or the fattest nation, the most overweight. But yet we got people every other place, not every place, but a lot of places that would love to have this much food. North Korea, all different places in Africa, different places in South America, Honduras. I can name so many places. Can you give me some water? Cool, thank you. Like all kinds of places. India, like it's like for real, like it's real talk. And I'm not gonna say the whole thing that like your parents used to say to you when you were younger, like eat all your food. There's people starving and whatever. There's people starving in China or whatever. But this is the time that we actually be serious with our life. And I mentioned this earlier today. Is that, man? I mentioned this is that Health is our wealth. Our true wealth is our health. Somebody who is sick and they have $2 million, they don't get to enjoy that $2 million as good as somebody who is poor but has $2. A poor man can enjoy $2 way better than um, a sick rich man can enjoy his money. You feel me? Like, so we need to be up on ourselves. And what is the first step to any addiction? And I can get into this deeper, but let's just start here. What is the first step to any addiction? The first step to anything. You got a problem in your relationship. What do they make you do when you go to AA or whatever? I am an alcoholic. I am a drug addict. They make you admit it, because if you don't admit it, right, baby, I have not been faithful to you. I cheated on you. You gotta, baby, I was wrong. Baby, I shouldn't have hit you. I shouldn't have, whatever it is. I don't know what people do, but you have to, awareness, exactly. You have to admit it. And if you don't admit it, if you're in a state of denial, that's just your ego constantly trying to defend itself. That's the ego saying, oh no, I'm about to be attacked. Oh no, let me defend myself. But no, we gotta admit it. Like, that's why I'm looking at you and I'm letting you know, like, hey, y'all, I'm addicted to food. And I only eat 1-2 times a day. And I'm a so-called vegetarian and vegan, however you wanna put that. I'm still addicted to it. Last night, I had a pack of crackers next to my bed, and I ate them before I went to sleep. I knew I shouldn't have. I knew when I woke up, I wasn't going to feel the best. But I did it. Why? Because I'm addicted. I'm addicted. And I need to figure this out, and I know that I can do it. And I've conquered a lot of things in my life. And I know that those of you who are watching can do it as well, too. Because we don't want to end up like those other people. Look at our elders. Look at them. Look how they end up. That's not the destination that we want. If we know where that road leads, then does it make any sense to go down the exact same road? If we know that a road is going to end up to a dead end, or maybe it's going to end up to falling off of a bridge, doesn't make any sense to go down that road. No, you want to turn around. And you would try to stop anybody else from going down that road. Like, hey, don't go down that road. But some people are the ego is gonna be so inflated that they're gonna be like, oh, whatever, man. I'm gonna go down that road. You don't know me. I'm gonna do me. And then they meet the same demise. So all I'm saying is, like, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, when we wake up in the morning, if we're going to eat fresh food, eat fresh fruit, not vegetables, not the leftovers, not bacon, not pancakes, not French toast or waffles or grits or whatever. Put something in your body. Put some cherries in your body. Put some watermelon in your body. Some cantaloupe, something like that. And again, if you haven't done so, check out the food combining chart on Google. If print that chart out and hang it up and find out what foods go with what, because it really does make a difference. Your digestive system's taking up a lot of energy, and that energy, we could be using that energy for something else. We could be using that energy to write a book. That energy could be used for the body to repair itself. I have a video coming out tomorrow about sun gazing. It's part 1. I'll have another part, and the dude, he talks about that. How the minute you get your brain charged up, and he talks about the certain parts of the brain, and the minute it's fully charged up, now all of a sudden your mental is fine, and now the physical starts to heal itself. And then after the physical and mental are fine, then the spiritual starts to heal itself. And he talks about how your powers start to come on deck. He talks about how telepathy and teleportation and all these things, they become activated. We're more than what we think we are. We're like the highest edition of the iPhone, but we lost the manual. We're the highest edition of the iPhone. We're the iPhone 2.5, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, the best one that ever came out. But we lost the manual, and we don't know everything that we got. So we think that we're just basic telephones that has some basic features on it. But we're not. We're so much more. We're so much more. And we've been lied to. We've been lied to by people who want to take our energy. We've been lied to by people who want to control us and use us for their own personal gains. You know, a lot of my videos back in the days, I talked about the 7 systems that really messed this system up because they became infiltrated. And those systems were the educational systems, the medical systems, the agriculture system, the media system, the what do you call it? The monetary system, the law enforcement system, and the religious system. I think I got all 7. But those systems, they want to control you. They want to take your money. Because what is money? Money is currency. Currency is a current, right? Like an electrical current. It's energy. It's energy that could be moved around. So, yeah, I'm not gonna stop on this topic. I'm gonna do a couple more lives. Maybe I'll do one like once a week, and we're gonna really start digging deep. And I'm gonna have more notes prepared, and I'm gonna be doing some more interviews. I put up an interview on my uncensored interviews. If you go to my about page, I interview a guy who used to have a job at a slaughterhouse killing chickens. And he tells everything. He doesn't tell his name, and I might put him on the YouTube and block out his picture or whatever. But yeah, he tells all of what goes down. Look, man, 80% of the Wu-Tang Clan are now vegans. That should tell you guys something. You know, a lot of people, they aren't eating meat anymore. I used to cook meat. I ate meat for 1 year of my life, 1 year. And I got really big when I did. I cooked a lot of meat, you know, for people over the years. And I'm not really proud of it. I cooked rabbit, alligator, ducks, cows, elk, all types of fishes and whatever. I'm not judging people. But what I'm saying is that we don't need meat to live, right? Maybe that was the only thing. And our existence was being how we say it, threatened. Our existence was being threatened, and we had to survive. Maybe that was the only thing. Okay, fine, I get it. Back in those times, who knows what happens during the dark ages? But what I do know is that right now we don't need it to survive. I'm a living example of that, and so many other people are living examples of that. So we need to start cutting out the heavier foods. If we want more light, then we have to make ourselves light. Because if we have too much weight, we're going to have to wait. If we want more light, we have to make ourselves light. Because if we have too much weight, then we're going to have to wait. And this is a pun. I think it comes from Africa, but that's one of the things about it. So I'm going to kind of end this kind of quick. I got a couple more things I got to do, but I'm going to be in here once a week. And yeah, help me out. Pass this around. I want to grow this channel. I'm only at like 2,800 subscribers right now. For a minute, I got blacklisted. I don't know why they blacklisted me. Actually, I do know why. I started talking about vaccines and other stuff, and then I stopped getting a lot of views. But yeah, follow me in here. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on what do you call it? Instagram. And yeah, man. You know, I love social media. We can use social media, or we can let social media use you. But I met a lot of friends, man. A lot of friends. And a lot of people, and we talk and we're friends now. And this is where we use the law of attraction, and we attract like-minded people because together we are powerful and strong. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, then go as a group. And yeah, I'm trying to go far instead of fast. So we need a community. We need a group. But my name is Jonathan. Thanks for tuning in to 7 Circles. I hope you guys have a great week, a great night, a great month, a great year, and a great life. Peace.